my gosh. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. I will be right over. Give me like 2 seconds to make sure I'm not accidentally doxing myself with this box. I just realized my address is in like 5 different places on it. Actually, I don't think you guys can see from here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me trace the angle of my camera. 1 sec. Then, actually, I might have a Sharpie. Oh, I most certainly do not. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Perfect. Okay. Then I don't know which of the shipping information is important. Oh, that's my real name. Can't have that. Give me 2 seconds, chat. That's yours. That's I guess it doesn't matter too much if I dock myself. I'm moving anyway. But hello, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. We are today, first of all, recovering from me being not obviously, arguably the most exhausted I've been in ages. Yves says that there is a time to dock yourself. It'd be the time when you're moving out, though, right? It also has my real name on it, which would be the only thing, because Oregon State records are obscenely transparent when it comes to that sort of stuff. Basically, the minute you know someone's name, you know all of their addresses that they've ever had, essentially. And so it's real rough. But hello, everyone. Thank you so much to Cassie for raiding. Lovely to see you all. Welcome back to the stream. So today we are mostly just yapping. We are raising money for the move, which is going to be quite hectic. It's going from a 2-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom townhouse with like a whole ass game room and everything. And so I need to furnish a lot of stuff. So I'm currently raising money to do that. I might also take you guys with me. If you guys have any moving life hacks or tips or anything, please do. Nia says, oh my god, you're so pretty. Oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Thank you so much for saying that, because I do not feel pretty today. I'm not kidding when I say that I'm the most tired I've ever been. I woke up about half an hour ago, maybe. Mind you, it's 4 p.m. 5 p.m. where I'm at. And so it's been purely me just trying to survive the day by sleeping through it, I guess. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Cassie says, gotta support the TTRPG girlies. Oh my god, yeah, speaking of tabletop games, the massive boxes that I have that are behind me they're like tabletop, it's not a TTRPG, it's like a tabletop, it's a horror board game, I guess, but it has some crazy miniatures, which is the reason that I got into it. And so that's my whole thing is really liking the miniatures. And so I don't really know what else is in the game, but I'm gonna open it up alive and figure it out because I backed it on last Gen Con, I think it was, if not before then. So it's been ages and ages and ages. So I have no idea what's inside. Let's see. Did Americans have a day off like we did in the UK? No. What did you guys have a day off for? Oh, lucky bastards. What the fuck was the holiday? What'd you guys have? Also, sorry if my camera's shaking a lot. Since I'm moving, everything has been destabilized in my apartment. My sanity especially, but also just my entire setup. In fact, it sounds more echoey in here. It's because here, hold on. You can see that whole pile of stuff over there is my soundproofing. It's my sound panels. I'm taking them off. I'm getting all the ugly ash tape off the walls. In fact, oh no, there's no way you guys are gonna be able to see if I turn my camera to show you. But hello, JJ. Hello, Sculptor. Thanks for the 5 gifts. Confusion76 and Neon Huntress have followed. So many other followers as well. It's good to see you guys. But yeah, no, we didn't have a holiday. The brother says we need the cats. The cats aren't allowed in here right now because actually, I can show you this. I'm currently organizing my magic bulk from the boxes that I bought at PAX East and then also the Strixhaven sets that I got. And so I need to get those organized and put away before I move. Because currently they were just out and about. And the problem is the cats have a tendency to lay right the fuck here. And it was intentional, I swear to God. Viren, of course, because it's always Viren, the troublemaker. He kicked all of my shit off the table already once, so he's not allowed in here. Phantom says chuck them into a shoebox. The cats or the cards? No, they were previously just kind of in piles in my living room. This is me trying to get them organized. JX says you need a big ass thick blanket, a mover's blanket, and you can ease furniture onto it and then grab a handful of blanket and pull it to drag stuff across the ground without scratching the floor or having to lift the furniture. That's a good point. The thing is, the townhouse is very vertical. It's three stories rather, and it's all very much like a small footprint and then very vertical. It's so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get up the stairs. That's gonna be the problem. Also down the stairs of my current apartment. Novice says I'm a novice DM giving myself 365 to go to a professional dungeon master. Oh hell yeah, well done, novice to nat 20. Good to see you. Congrats on the journey. That'll be a lot of fun. And then Brandamus Prime says, how do you organize cards? I'm having a hard time doing that now. Personally, the way I do it is I go and put them into, well, first of all, I organize them by color identity because I play mostly Commander. And so I have all of the cards broken into color. And then from there, the lands are separate. So I have like one pile for green cards, one pile for green lands. I'm also a little sick right now, so forgive me a little bit. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't go outside, so I don't know how I got sick. Now Strauss wants me to hydrate. I can do that. I have lemon water today. Just wanted a little bit of a throwback to back when I was taking lemon juice shots. Oh, and Dax says I changed from having a truck to a car so people would stop asking me to help move. So what you're saying is you won't help me move? I was like racking my brain. I was like, who do I know that has a truck? And I don't think anyone I know does. I think I have the largest car out of anyone in my friend group. But I might, I don't know, rent a U-Haul or something like that. I'd be more scared about driving a U-Haul. Yves says, are you hiring a moving company? No, because I have a control disorder and I refuse to let other people handle my stuff for $2,000 to move across town. It's in town. If it was out of town, I might consider it. But I'm staying in Bend. Eli says, moving home for about 3 months myself before moving into my first adult apartment with my girlfriend in August. Fuck yeah, dude, congrats. And then Nerdy Bingers, hello. And allegedly Macy, good to see you guys. I feel like I'm finally waking up now saying hello to all y'all. Irma says U-Haul's not bad when it comes down to it. Yeah, it's just the fact that you have to like refuel it with gas before you turn it back in kind of sucks, which I get, but man, it's a rough time in this economy. But as far as organizing cards, yes, so I go into color first, and then I do it by I alphabetize them, which is, it's really fucking time consuming, but it takes me seconds to find any card that I need, and I have so much bulk that it's I save myself a lot of time in the long run, like a lot of time. So that's how I'm doing it. And then like colorless and multicolored stuff is all separate. Cheese Prop says, do you have furniture shoulder straps for easy lifting? No, what? I was planning on fully just like disassembling my furniture. My furniture is like IKEA particle board type shit. So once it's disassembled, it should be fine. The hardest thing to move will honestly be the computer that the Nix got me, because it got delivered to my front door, so I haven't had to move it before. When I got it from the front door to the office, I did so by sliding it on like some old bits. I think on some like an old towel or something like that. It's heavy as fuck. So I don't know how I'm gonna move that, but Cheese Bros says they're good for heavy items. I'll drop them in the Discord. Okay, good to know. Yeah, Yves says I do a set first, but I use the same system. Oh, that's smart. But I find that there are so many reprints by sets that I would get lost. Functionally, I would not be able to. And Surfing Peekaboo says, I hope your moving goes well. Me too. I have about half a month to do it. So I am stoked about that. I'm trying desperately to like figure out what exactly I want to do to the new place as well, because I don't know if you guys have this too. If you go and move into a new place, you find that if you just don't do anything before then, where you don't do any upgrades, you don't like plan out what exactly you want the place to look like, once you've actually moved in, you fall into like this complacency where you stop seeing all the stuff that needs to be upgraded and fixed and all that. So I'm trying to like force myself to think about what I want to buy, what I want to fix, what I want to upgrade, what I want to replace before I move in, because I know as soon as I move in, I'm just gonna like stop caring, and it's basically just gonna be a copy of this apartment again, which this apartment's great, don't get me wrong, but my towels are yellow and I need new ones. You know, I need to remember to buy myself new stuff before I get too used to it, you know? Strange Venture says, I'm a single parent. People stop asking me to do anything. At least I didn't ask you to stop parenting. There you go. Art Sky says, I used to sort my cards that way. Eventually, I just started sorting by color and got one big box. It is just full of counter spells, removal, card draw, and ramp. So whenever I'm building a new deck, I just have to sort through that box rather than all my collection. I feel like that would... I don't know enough about Magic the Gathering to know how exactly those are categorized. I'm still very new to this game, by the way. So, did you mean to go live on Instagram? Yeah, my phone is charging. I think it's charged enough that it should be able to now. So let's do that as well. And then we should actually probably start unboxing this box. Let's see. Saving up for a big move. Do that. As like the title. There we go. Captain Cassie says, I'm like that in the sense that once I know what space I'm moving to, it looks like I'm planning where everything will be after unpacking before I even move. Yeah, so that's what I did. Actually, what I used to do is I would go on to, when I first moved into a space, I measured out all of the rooms because I've never been able to move into an apartment or anything like that that's been able to give me a what do you call it, like a floor plan. For some reason they just don't have them in Bend. To be fair, Bend is also, like I mentioned before, really fucking competitive when it comes to moving into places, and so they kind of are just like, oh yeah, we have an open space, take it or leave it. And it works, which is what pisses me off. It worked on me, which is why I'm moving so suddenly. But the Yves says ramp is more stuff, counter is removal is be gone foul creature. Yeah, so I get that part, but I feel like sometimes cards are categorized in a way that I don't understand. Hi Liz! Hey Dan, I hope you're thriving today. I woke up and I'm feeling sick, so I also hope I'm thriving. I also hope I'm not dying of the plague. Saying, I thought your mid-move was curious where you're headed. Sorry I'm late to the party and you may have already explained this. Yeah, so I'm upgrading from a 2-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom townhouse elsewhere in town. I can't get specific, but I am gonna still be in Bend, because I would never leave this place. I would rather die than move anywhere else. But hi Bo, saying, hey, I love watching your D&D content on TikToks. I want to drop you a follow. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, we're currently saving to just, it's not so much, I'm not hiring movers or anything like that. The costs are more for like furnishing the place because it's so much more room. But I'll be able to have like a proper game room. Anyway, like I was saying, when I move into new places, usually what I do is, in absence of a floor plan, I will measure out all of the rooms and recreate them in like a PowerPoint format where I scale it down to like inches as opposed to feet. And then in terms of inches, I'll then measure out all of my furniture and then arrange it using PowerPoint to get all the shapes into the right spots and everything like that. And have that have that all organized so it's ready to go when I move in. Granted, I'm also not the type of person that like rearranges stuff very much, and so once it's locked into a place, it's like locked in, you know. Hi Deuce, hello, and Cassie says I'm gonna lurking while I go practice some post-stream self-care. Have fun, you all have fun. Thank you so much for the raid, Cassie. And Michael says I'm hired movers last time. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah, I just don't trust movers. I just prefer, especially because I have so much time to execute the move. There's a lot of overlap between my old place and my new place, and so I really want to like just take my time and do it. And Liz says, if I was in the area, I'd totally help you move some boxes around. I'm excited to see your new space. Thank you. Also, Nimbus, thanks for the gifted subs. Holy shit, for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much for making sure no one has to sit through ads. Hello everyone on Instagram. Hello Lady of the Rose, says Mario. And then Doc Sniper says, I just started playing D&D this year and your videos always make me super hyped for my next sessions. Dude, yeah. I was like on an interview the other day. It's not out yet, but the people, after I was like done with the conversation, I was like, man, I really want to GM again. Like, this is just talking about it makes me really want to get back behind the screen. Yves says, hire your friends, pay them in pizza. I should. I don't know, I just prefer doing it myself. You know, I like having control of my surroundings and my situation. Argent says, if you have some Magic the Gathering friends and you offer them some packs, I'm sure they'll lend you a hand. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Just like, be like, hey, I'll give you one collector booster, and they're gonna be like, that's worth maybe 10 bucks. What do you mean? It's like, take it or leave it. But yeah. Oh yeah, and then Brandimus says, I started out doing colors, then I lost space for artifacts, multicolors, and lands. Yeah, those are all in separate things. I do also have a pile, and I'm not sure what to do with these, for the Japanese Mystical Archive cards that I pulled from the Strixhaven set. This one is the Silver Scroll Demonic Tutor. It's the only one, or sorry, Vampiric Tutor. It's the only Silver Scroll that I pulled. The rest of them are just normal. I don't even know what this one is. I couldn't find it. And then there's Brotherhood's End as well. I also have, I don't know what this one is. I love the art style. I just prefer being able to read my cards is my only thing. And then this one I believe is Culling Ritual, I'm pretty sure. Firesun says the Demonic Tutor is gorgeous. Yeah, it back when it first came out, it was worth like $3 grand. It's fallen a lot since then post pre-release. But it is still double sleeved. I do want to sell it at some point. But it is, I'm trying to make sure the cats don't get to it. I'll put it that way. I don't know what to do with the rest of them though. I might just sell all of them. Justice says, I'm moving next week and also getting hit with 2 rents in 1 month, feeling your pain. Yeah, and also I ended up going with the lease break for my current place, which means I have to pay 1.5 times rent at the old place on top of normal rent for the month that has overlap, on top of rent and deposit and cat rent and cat deposit for the new place. So this month is real bad. It's real bad for me. So Cheese Puff says 3 grand. He got, yeah, what is it at now? Hold on. Silver Scroll Vampiric Tutor. Let's see. It's oh Jesus. this is not the, this can't be the, okay, yeah, it's at about 628 average. I was like, there's no way this is selling at this price anymore. But yeah, it's at around, like, I guess 800 to something. I'll probably sell it to help fund the move, to be honest. But hi, Melvin, and hi, Michael. Sell it. I know, it'll continue to drop. It won't go up anymore? Okay. Okay, I guess I gotta learn how to sell cards. Oh man, Stormbrand says I followed the Silver Scroll Cyclonic Rift and I'm a happy man. Oh man. Okay, and Yves says get the kiddos a lifetime supply of catnip. Yeah, they only started to be able to react to catnip. So fun thing, cats don't instantly react to catnip. It's not a thing that happens when they're first born. It takes a little while. Can always sell it to cash to Mox Boarding House. The nearest Mox Boarding House is in Portland. Unless they take them online, but I don't know if I can mail that in a secure way. But yeah. Tired Fred says, holy shit, you're real. You're awesome. Hi, yeah, I try. And DB says they do take it by mail. Oh shit, okay. Maybe I'll do that then. Arden's Guy says the Mystical Archive is probably going to crash relatively soon since the set was mass opened. All the Mystical Archives are going to drop on account of this large amount of SOS that was opened. Oh, gotcha. And Liz says I dabble in investments and stocks, work similarly in Magic cards. Oh shit, okay. Oh my gosh, hi Iron Joker, hello, welcome back. Thanks for subbing for 16 months in a row. Oh yeah, and then the WWF stuff is still up. I need to fix that. Hold on, because we are no longer fundraising for them. I mean, you always can. Let me go over to Stream Elements and disable that real fast. But yeah, if you guys have any other moving tips, please let me know. This is my first like big move in my adult life. I've actually moved to 3 separate apartments in the same apartment complex before, so in the past it's been really easy because I straight up just like pick up one box at a time and just move it to a different building in the same complex. And so it's been it's been really easy. Okay, let me see the chat bot, the timers. Yeah, let's disable the WWF one. Perfect, cool. And then the commands, we'll disable that. Perfect, we're all set. I also need to update my throne wish list with like some of the stuff that I need. Oh my god, do any of you guys have recommendations for towels? Totally unrelated thing. I really need towels that will actually stay fluffy and clean. Also, Nova Arc on YouTube says you took our jobs. Wait, are we talking about D&D stuff or is it because I'm Mexican? I guarantee it's not that. I'm just joking. Liz says waffle pattern, 100% cotton. I hate waffle pattern with a vengeance, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's... I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it as much. I feel like I really want like one of those really soft, fluffy ones that I'm afraid to use and wash. Androna says rent a moving truck to help move things in bulk instead of a ton of little trips. I should, but like... The problem is also having time, because I'm not taking days off my normal job. I'm not taking days off of this until I really need to, because internet needs to be transferred over or something like that. I'm in the middle of 2 actual plays that are done live at once, and then 4 other, like, recorded games, so I can't really take time off, and so I kind of need to do it in small chunks. Kind of. A little bit. Sort of. Also, Natai says, hi Tegan, I've always watched your YouTube shorts, but I want to watch a full D&D campaign. Which is your favorite that's on video? Ooh, Dungeon Masters is currently going on, but it's not got enough of a backlog for me to be able to point people at it yet. It's only on episodes like 2 and 3, I think. But that's every Wednesday at 6:30 over on the D&D channel, and it actually like teaches you how to get into D&D and what the different abilities and stuff like that are. If you're looking for good roleplay that also kind of like it won't teach you the game, but you will learn it through osmosis. Critical Role Campaign 2 specifically is really good. I can't vouch for 3 or 4. I haven't really watched them the full way through. 3 actually I kind of got bored and dropped off because it was too urban. As in like they spent way too much time within city boundaries and not actually out adventuring. And Campaign 2 was nice and succinct and fulfilled, so I recommend that one. Andromeda says you can pick up a U-Haul 10-foot truck on Friday and drop it off on Sunday. Oh shit, okay. But then, am I traveling? I know I'm busy. Fuck, dude. I don't know, man. I just need to get shit in boxes and then work from there. Kansuke says you could also take it over to E4 and Ben and see what Steve could do for you with it, or trade it in for a tutor you could read since you were talking about needing more tutors. Yeah, I definitely want to swap it for the Vampiric Tutor Mystic Archive that isn't the Japanese version, if I can. But I think, I'm pretty sure... love Steve to death, by the way. The E4 team is amazing. They're all wonderful people. They're like so cool. I love stopping by in there whenever I can, but I'm pretty sure they only buy at like 50% value or something like that. Maybe. It's really low, unless you take store credit, which I probably would do store credit. Maybe. I don't know. I'll talk to them about it. Liz says, saran wrap the small organized things like pen cups, kitchenware, spice rack, etc. It's not eco-friendly, but it really saves time. That's smart. That's a really smart idea. Okay, so my spice racks are like straight up like glass jars, and I was like, oh god, I don't want to move these, but I also don't want to like have them pop open and then paprika the entirety of everything that I know and love. And so I kind of want to, if I could just like tape them down and then saran wrap them, that's really smart. That's really smart. Also, oh, and Nizai says, I'm at a campaign you play or DM, and the fullest campaign that I have on the record is Chains of Asmodeus from Maddie's channel. If you look up Chains of Asmodeus Madaloon, that's all on YouTube. I don't really have any other campaigns. I mostly do small one-shots here and there and things like that. Andronimo says, get your address updated ahead of time with utilities and internet so it's seamless and you can get things set up the day you move in. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the packet of info as to like who actually controls all my shit. Although I did get a very urgent call from my internet provider that was like, hey, call us back immediately. And I was like, what could possibly be the problem that you can't tell me over a voicemail? And like, I don't know. So I need to call them back, and maybe they just heard through my landlady that I'm moving or something like that, and they want to get it set up. That's probably it. Astral says, do you still have and use your Hell-Used huge DM folder? I do. It's currently buried under stuff, but I do still have it. I do still use it when I DM in person, I should say. And Microgamer says, scrolling and heard D&D and then got excited. My friends are trying to have me DM for the first time ever. Hey, yeah, you should. And you're nervous. You should not be nervous at all. Trust me. I mean, granted, I'm a hypocrite for saying that because like I get nervous all the fucking time. So be aware of that. But also, I don't like, oh God, how do I put this? If you've played D&D at least once, you're as qualified as you need to be a GM. You know, there's not too much tips and tricks to it. Oh my god, Justice says, put your hundreds of books in small boxes. It's also tempting to cram them into bigger boxes, but it's not worth it. And then Liz says, pack books in a rolling suitcase. They're so heavy to move. A rolling suitcase is smart. That's really smart. I was just staring at my bookshelf and I was like, I guess I can move the whole bookshelf with them in it, but especially when you're a TTRPG creator, it's a lot of like fucking, I just have so many books. Oh, that's very smart. Yeah, no, moving books is a nightmare. I really am not looking forward to that. Lex says, do you have any tips for people who've mainly played that are daunted by DMing? Yeah, don't be afraid to ask your own party for clarification or for like rules questions. Also, Sendrix, thank you so much, saying, oh my god, this is actually something I was thinking about. They said the only question at this point is, how do you plan on moving all the minis? No fucking clue. I have zero fucking clue. I have so many minis just like lying around that are scattered on shelves at this point, and they're fragile. So I can't just like toss them in a box, I don't think. I might have to just move them little by little and pray. Liz says, pack breakables in boxes with clothing. Smart. And Yves says, wrap anything delicate in blankets and towels. I do have a lot of blankets. I can do that. Deuce says 3 words, Tensor's floating disc. All right. Star City Games will buy it for $475 used in cash, 600 plus credit. Oh, USD in cash. Got it. And DB says, oh wait, hold on. Lucas says the resin minis are usually fine in a box of packing peanuts. I've had ceramics travel fine like that. Okay, cool. It might be several boxes. I have so many fucking minis. Speaking of minis, this entire set of shit back here, you can kind of see the boxes on the ground behind me. Those also, I think, have minis in them, but I want to take a look. Anyway, going back to what someone asked about when it came to DMing, like if you're daunted by DMing, just remember you don't need to know all of the rules. If anything, I turn and ask my players all the time, like, hey, what's the rule on fall distance? Or hey, what's the rule on this? Or what's the rule on that? And it's faster than trying to look it up yourself. You don't have to worry about like embarrassing yourself or anything like that because you're not meant to know all the rules. And so yeah, don't be afraid to ask, Yeah, hydrate real fast, trying to stave off this illness. Notster says, you could buy some of those packing peanuts that melt in water. How much are packing peanuts nowadays? What's the going rate? How many packing peanuts can I get for this Silver Scroll demonic tutor? Vampiric tutor. Sorry, I keep saying demonic. It looks demonic. Doesn't it? This is giving demonic tutor vibes, right? The Silver Scroll is really cool. Like, if you look up close, I don't know if you guys will be able to see. You can really see, like, the glitteriness to it. I'm just glad I got it in perfect condition, too. Oh. Cheese Prof says the pretty cheap in bulk. Okay, gotcha. And Liz is heading off. Bye, Liz. Also, I will message you about the nail stuff. I just woke up is the only thing. Last tip, save money on packing peanuts and ask a local office for their shredded paper. That's smart. That's really smart. Oh, that's really smart. Okay, cool. I will do that. And Eli says, I feel like packing peanuts can't be bought. They just show up. I should have saved mine from the last several moves I did. I should have been saving boxes and moving shit from all the stuff that gets sent to me, honestly. And Adu, says improvising is so much fun while GMing. Yeah, it is. I get nervous doing it though, so I can't always. I'd be a hypocrite if I told people to just improvise and just have fun with it. Daniel says big move is moving to another house. Yeah. So upgrading is the reason it's so big. It's because I need to furnish a lot more rooms than I had. I have 2 more bathrooms now. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with 2 more bathrooms. Hi, Sky. And hi, Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Good to see you. Good to see you. CJTS says, I joined the game and I'm in a Warlock Hexblade. Are there any tips for me on how to get stronger? That I can't really advise on, only because I tend to work on the GM side of things, so I don't really know a lot about being a player, especially not a Warlock. I don't think I've ever played a Warlock, actually. And Nazi says all it needs is 1 extra towel and soap. Yeah, but that's not... But what about the pizzazz? Bathrooms are so hard to style already, you know? Especially when they don't come with any table space. Like, one is a half bath. And so it's just like, toilet, sink. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? You know? Yvette says 1 for Farah, 1 for Viren, obviously. Okay, well... I have seen cats that were trained on how to use the toilet and dogs that are trained on how to use the toilet. I don't know how the fuck people, like, are okay with that more so than, like, a litter box. Granted, I have an automatic litter box. I have a litter robot because it was the only way I was able to, like, have cats and still travel. And so I don't have... I don't know. I feel like if I walked into the bathroom and saw that my dog had used it before me and didn't flush, that would piss me off. I'm not asking the dog to flush. I'm saying it's weird to just, like, have that sitting there, marinating. Soup from hell. Savalage says the one time I played a Warlock, it was a Satyr Warlock of whatever the Fey path was, and I basically played him as Tigger from Pooh with the mirthful leaping. Oh, with, like, the tail bouncing and everything? That's cute. Also, Balbanez, hello, welcome in, and thanks for the sub with Prime. And Lucas says, my only takeaway is that dogs don't flush. And Pseudologius says, easy, just train them to flush then. Wouldn't that be so fucking funny, though? If you train your dog to use the bathroom, you also have to train them to flush, otherwise it's just kind of gross. Goodness. God, it is cold in here. The air conditioning is on. I'm free. This was a bad choice. I thought my PC would warm me up. I think it's also just not as warm in here because I've taken down all the noise dampening stuff, which does do a lot for heat. Also, the Horrible Wounds poster that you guys always ask me about is down. This is the poster that is in the background of all of my videos, and it's the Horrible Wounds from Morkborg. It basically has a bunch of different options for, like, how you can injure yourself in Morkborg. You roll on a table whenever it's not, like, deadly damage. The back is also really cool. I honestly should have the back just up and about. Isn't that sick? See, Logic says, overclock the CPU, then you got yourself a nice space heater. I'm not touching this thing. Nick and Nikki were so sweet to send it to me, and I feel like I'd be so afraid to do anything to it. I'm afraid to even unplug it. But I've got to. I gotta move. I also should probably get it off the carpet at some point. That'll be the big upgrade. Claudia says that would make a sick back tattoo. I know, right? It'd be fucking cool. And then Logan says, my dog trained himself to use doorknobs, but our new place the only handle that looks like that is the toilet flush handle. Oh, so the rest are like knobs as opposed to like levers? I see. So we get some random flushes from time to time. Your dog is single-handedly destroying the environment by just, like, habitually flushing the toilet because they think it's a doorknob. That's actually so fucking funny. But, so Lush says, yeah, that would kill it, Goth Industrial Night, not gonna lie. Dude, yeah, so everything to do with Morkborg is just super cool. I'm gonna have a future, like, YouTube video out soon. Gonna be a couple months probably before I have time, but it's gonna be all about the different Borg games because it's a really easy system. I want to say it's just like a couple of polyhedral dice. It's not even the full d20 or anything like that. It takes seconds to build a character. You can do it in like less than half an hour, I want to say, during a session 0, and it like it's all very metal, if that makes sense. It's all very goth. It's also not loading. I'll get back to that later. Balvinus says, I thought I followed forever ago, but I guess it was only on YouTube until now. Oh my gosh, hello. Hi. And Gummy Zombie says soon. So probably not soon. I do need a video idea for this month, but I think I'll probably do something on solo RPGs because I've had a lot of people asking me about solo RPGs. So yeah, this is Morkborg. They like do all this sort of art style, which is incredibly cool and very gory and very bloody. And it's very much like, I don't know, it's just a very mature sort of game, and the supplements for it are amazing. They have Cyborg, which is like the cyberpunk version of it. They have Corpborg, which is the corporate like hell version of the game, where you are working underneath demons who are your middle management essentially. Hi from Sugarland, Texas. Hi, Robert. Hello. Light on rules, heavy on everything else. Yeah, it's really cool. Their art style is amazing as well, and it's all like this, you know. A pitch black apocalyptic fantasy about lost souls and fools seeking redemption, forgiveness, or last remaining riches in a bleak and dying world. The entirety of the core premise for all of them is they're all post-apocalyptic. They all have like this really eclectic, almost like collage style interior, and confront power-draining necromancers, skulking skeletal warriors, and backstabbing wickheads. I don't know what that is. Wander the valley of the unfortunate undead, the catacombs beneath Bergen Crypt, or the bedeviled Sarkash Forest. Leave hope behind. The other one is Pirate Borg, which a couple people won actually recently on this channel. Yeah, it was super cool. Sublash says, I've been listening around Solo Twilight 2000 for a while since it's got so much robust support and settings so bleak I can't get my friends to play. But the vehicle rules kind of broke my brain. Yeah, I don't really have anything to do with like Twilight Imperium because that's it, right? Also, Vandal says, I saw your post with LCR. Oh, left, center, right the other day. I gained a lot so much money playing that in bars on deployments. It's great one to keep on. Yeah, I want to keep it in my, my what do you call it? The center console in my car. Also, hi Noah. Noah, I was gonna text you the other day and I forgot. Remind me to text you. It's not really a lawyery question. It's more just like a general question. Don't remind me to text you. I'll remind myself now that I've said it out loud. Addy says, these art styles are such good inspiration to, yeah, it's really, really cool. So the poster is, we were just showing off my Mork Borg stuff. I just can't help but buy their stuff. It's purely for the aesthetic too. Firebird says, any advice for someone who's a player in 5-person campaigns and DM for one? Oh, sorry, a player for 5 in-person campaigns, but they're sad because D&D 9 has been on hiatus for over 2 months. Ooh, I would take the onus to, wait, for all of your games? Oh. Sorry, I'm allergic to extended hiatuses. The thing that I would do is try and pick up some other game to bring in as a one-shot to kind of help, not necessarily distract, but to help scratch the itch, and then also potentially like fill time, get people to enjoy being at the table again. It kind of depends why you're on like hiatus though. If it's a scheduling thing, then maybe try using When to Meet to try and figure out when you guys can all get together again. Also, Noah says, did you catch the name of the new FP miniseries? Oh my god, yeah. Do you guys want to see, hold on. This just dropped today, and I forgot to talk about it. And by forgot, I mean I was asleep and unconscious. Forgotten Paths has a new miniseries out where, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Instagram, sure, why not? Where me and Sachi are bringing back our characters Mizuki and Captain Redjack, and we have the amazing Bill Roper joining us, who is a, well, I won't spoil who he is, but the first episode of the new miniseries just came out, and so it's not loading. Fuck, it's on Spotify, though. I didn't catch the, yeah, here we go. Here's the Spotify version. Let me just put this in the chat, actually. There we go. Forgotten Paths, A Scarlet Sunset, Part 1. Oh, oh no. But it starts on me and Mizuki's wedding day, which is super cute. But yeah, definitely don't miss out on that. I need to add it to my link tree as well. But that just came out today. Vibrant says, said hiatus is cursed, caused by 4 of the regular players being in part of a Warhammer League, and 2 of us are only off work Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Gotcha. Is the Warhammer League also on Tuesdays and Wednesdays? At worst, like, I would even try and be like, hey guys, we don't have to do like weekly campaigns. One of my campaigns is only once every month. It's a Daggerheart, like space campaign, which is really cool. It's called Space Odyssey. And we only play once a month because I was like, I physically cannot do any more than that. Logan says, I played Pirate Borg at a coastal ocean bar. It's super fun and thematic, and I woke up on a beach and don't remember much of it. Are you talking about in-game or out of game that you woke up on a beach and don't remember it? Let's see. Noah says, chat, Bill is super cool. He's the guy that made / shipped the Diablo, Warcraft, and Starcraft franchises, as well as Disney Infinity, and he founded the band Poxy Bogards, which sounds like a crazy fucking insult, where Taliesin Jaffe got his start. Oh shit, that's cool. I knew nothing about who Bill, I don't know anything about who anyone is when I meet them in this fucking industry, dude. Outside of like, I think the cast of Critical Role, I really don't, I'll meet someone, and then like become friends with them, and then later find out that they're actually really fucking big in the space. Same with Gavin Verhey. I had no idea who the fuck he was. I just ran into him at karaoke, and he's like, oh, I know who you are, and I was like, oh, you seem cool, and also you have a great voice. And now I have his number to complain about every time I lose to lose in a Magic game. Noah says that we love that about you. I just don't have the mental capacity anymore to learn who people are. Yvette says, I'm being attacked by the EP, but I will last until the end of stream. Dude, I'm also being attacked by the EP. I'm gonna keep drinking water. Give me like 2 seconds to gulp down. This is lemon water, by the way. I don't believe in the whole like lemon water every day is good for you or better for you than normal water type thing. I'm just hoping that the flavor will help me drink water so that I don't get full sick. Luke says I was introduced to another guy named Luke and we chatted for a while over the same name. Eventually after that I was told Luke ... Gygax. Yeah, that's how they get you. It's also like people are this industry, I hate to say, it's a lot of people who look the same. If you asked me to point out Luke Gygax in a bar full of, at a D&D convention, I would not be able to tell you who he is. So I think that's also part of it. I also just don't have time to consume content as much as I used to back before I was a content creator, and so most of it just comes from like me just not being up with the times, which I feel really bad about. Yvette says, isn't lemon water bad for you due to the acidity on your enamel? Fuck. Alright, well, whoops. I'm hoping it at least acidifies away my fucking, impending doom. My impending illness. Twomp says Gavin can sing. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, he does karaoke all the time, apparently. And then... Kansuke says, too much info, not enough brain space. Yeah, my brain does not function well under normal circumstances. Andromeda says, come on, Diana, you don't know everything about Magic the Gathering. What's taking you so long? Dude, I was so fucking jealous of the people who went to MagicCon. I know you guys were yelling at me that I should have gone, and I was like, oh, I'm too new to the hobby. Like, I've only been in this hobby for a couple months. I don't really want to go because it's in Vegas, and Vegas is expensive. And chat, the minute that all the fucking footage started coming out of all the cool shit that was happening over there, I got so fucking jealous and instantly regretted not going. I swear to God I will go next year because it looked like so much fun. And they had cats. They had like a little cat petting area. And you could take pictures with the cats. Ugh. Me and all my like D&D content creator friends, we all have a server where we play Magic all the time. And we were playing all weekend as like a MagicCon FOMO party, essentially, because we were all collectively like, fuck, it looks so fun. I Lopin says MagicCon Atlanta was way cooler to BH. Are they doing Atlanta this year? Maybe? Oh, also Plutonium, hello, saying I just traveled from TikTok to Insta and now Twitch. Hey, thanks for hopping over. Good to see you. Yeah, Instagram is definitely a downgrade as far as UI goes, because you can't see the chat. You can't see the dono goal. You can't see as much of my room. But I try and watch all 3 chats, but thanks for hopping over. And then Phantom says there's 3 to 4 MagicCons a year. I know there's Atlanta, Amsterdam, that's the other one. Yeah, and then, do they have MagicCon Chicago still? Or am I thinking of something else? Also, Noah says, oh shit, wait, I need to send you something in a Discord channel we have with a certain Evan about Redacted for you to look at later. MTG Talk reminded me. Hell yeah, I haven't looked at that chat in forever. If there's been some news, I have not seen it. I'm so sorry, I've been busy. Also, Discords, so many of them. I need to do a cleanse when I move. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna get rid of all of my old clothing, all the old makeup that I keep swearing that I'm gonna use for like highly specific Halloween style circumstances that's probably so old that it's like definitely a carcinogen by now. I'm gonna get rid of all of clean out my Discord channels, clean up my insanely cluttered desktop. I'm gonna treat this as a cleanse. I'm gonna burn some, not sage, because sage is protected, don't do that. I don't know, what do we have? I have dead plants that I can burn. No, it says Evan's also moving, so you're good. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. And Nonser says, catharsism? Are we catharsism? Is that like an exorcism? Also, Androno says clean out Discord channels. Clutches pearl. I tend to, I guess I don't need to be active in too many of them. A lot of them are just like holdovers, like, oh, I was part of this charity event once, like, I want to join their Discord, so I'm pinged whenever there's another charity event. It's happening for the next year, so I don't miss out on it. So I guess it's not too bad to be in so many. Loven says, is it May moving season or something? I mean, moving season in my town is in the entirety of summer and fall, so I just had to get it out of the way quick before someone else, before some Californian, one of those dirty Californians comes in and snags all the nice places. Legitimately, my new landlady was like, hey, like, I could show you the place that you could potentially move into, but I'm gonna warn you now, there's this couple that wants to move in as well. And I was like, fuck it, I'm waving the look around. We can do it after, just send through the paperwork. And when I tell you I filled that shit out expeditiously to lock down the place. It is so competitive out here. Eli says, most of my Discord channels are college related and I'm about to graduate, so I need to clean mine out too. Oh, but that's gonna be so much fun. Getting to like just kind of shelve all your college stuff. I will say, hold on to your textbooks. If you have PDFs of the textbooks, which you should. My lawyer is in the chat though, so I'm not gonna explain to you exactly where you should not go to get them. Should or should not go to get them if you don't have them already. Definitely hold on to those. I think they'll be more helpful than you think they will be. Or if the apocalypse happens, and you want to go back and look at your old, you know, anatomy textbooks to figure out how to stitch a wound or some shit. It's always helpful. Lopin says, I'm renting a place out there for I think 1 week on my move to Washington for a break. It was pretty competitive. Yeah, it's insane. Also, Natsu says there are folders on Discord so you can just categorize them. That's true too. Highly recommend, by the way. It's very helpful. Ron says wildfire's gonna spread through. Oh yeah, dude, we're already having wildfires. It's really bad. It's real bad. So for those who don't know, Oregon is specifically Central Oregon. It's what we call a high desert. It's a high elevation desert, essentially. So we have, by the way they categorize deserts, it's not like all sand and Aladdin and what's his fuck who voiced the parrot? It's not like an actual Sahara, right? It's usually just categorized by how little or how much precipitation you have. And in this particular part of Oregon, since we're past the mountains cast a bit of a rain shadow and cause what we call the high desert, where even though we're at a really high elevation, we have basically no precipitation. And so it's really dry. It's actually quite nice. My hair gets, I mean, don't look at it now because it's like grown out and stuff, but it doesn't get all humid and it doesn't get all poofy, which is great. Gilbert Godfrey, that's his name. Mr. Gilbert. So there's no sand, but what there is a lot of dryness. And because of that, wildfires are a massive risk. I actually just voted, which you should vote, by the way. And on the ballot, every single person who was running for any level of government, quite literally any position, there was at least half of their statement. They're like, here's what I do, here's my past experience, and here's why I'm good for the job. That whole statement, at least half of it was dedicated to wildfire fighting, because it's such a universally, like, massive fucking problem around here. Granted, if there was a massive fire in Bend, we'd be pretty prepared for it, I'd say, because we have a stupidly good, like, stupidly well-staffed, I guess I should say. I don't know about funded, but definitely staffed, like, wildfire prevention program. And also there's like a lot of rich people around here. So I imagine there's a lot of money protecting Bend because of that. The unfairness, I suppose. Let's see, Yvette says, how do you put your Discord servers into folders? Quite literally, drag and drop one server onto another server and it'll put them both into a folder. It's kind of like moving apps around on an iPhone. Noah says, Gilbert Gottfried is a legend. What else did he do? Because I only know him as the parrot from Aladdin. Also, Sir Grimm says, in Toronto, I'm looking to get back into D&D. Are there any advice on how to find sessions? Oh yeah, biggest thing, look at friendly local game stores. Every once in a while, go into them, look at their little cork boards that they have, and occasionally you'll see something that, like a flyer that's like, hey, I want to run a one-shot. It's free to join. Or, hey, here's a community Discord server, like for people in Toronto. You know, come join and we'll arrange games every now and then. Or, oh, we play by Discord on this server, and usually there'll be a QR code. Definitely check out the like bulletin boards of your local game store, and usually that'll be a good way to find people. You can also straight up ask at the front desk to see if they have a community Discord. Discord is definitely a good way to find out. And if you're okay playing online, I also really recommend Start Playing. It's very much an awesome like platform for finding games to play, and you don't need a whole lot to get into it. You just need like at most a microphone and an internet connection, you know. Eddie says, I think you did some as seen on TV narration stuff. Oh. And Lugic says, I only know Gilbert from his really dirty comedy stuff with Bob Saget. Oh, gotcha. Gashka also wants me to check my posture. I can do that. And Pseudologia says, there's not that many control towers in Oregon after all, and Eugene is also approach control. Oh, gotcha. Noah says, I can also recommend Start Playing. A little biased because they pay me for legal advice, but I love them from before that. Yeah, they're amazing. I've been a huge fan ever since they came out. I have another video for them coming up in June or July, I think, so I gotta come up with another way to talk about it, and I don't know, I'm excited. I love that company so much. They're genuinely great people. They do some charity endeavors. Their GMs are amazing. They have a lot of celebrity GMs on there. So Hannah and Maddie and Jade, Too Hard the Bard all do Start Playing, for example. So you can find some of your favorite content creators and actually play at their tables, which is super cool. Ben over on Instagram says, hey, I just want to say you're awesome. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for watching what I do, because my God, it's probably a hard watch a lot of the time. But thank you. I appreciate that. Good to see ya. And then let's see. Oh yeah, Ron says he's a legendary stand-up comedian. I didn't know that at all. I just know that the voice is real scratchy and that's it. He was also Digit from the PBS show Cyber Chase. You're fucking joking. No way. Hold on. That was my favorite show as a kid. Voice actor. Actor. Oh my god, it was. Holy shit. He was this guy? Dude, this guy was my childhood. What the fuck? Lucas says I forgot that of all the obscure stuff Diana knows. It was PBS. Hey, I was poor. Hey, that PBS was the foundation of my education back then. But yeah, Cyber Chase is such a throwback. They also had a video game, like ages ago, that was, God, now I'm just remembering. Yeah, they had a video game, and I remember that video game being really amazing back when I was a kid, by kid standards. Also, hi, Fox King. And Eli says, I think Deborah Ann Wool is on there too. Oh, as a GM for Start Playing? Oh, hell yeah. And then S. Red Hood says, hello for the first time, by the way, Red Hood. Good to see you. It's quite surprising. I've won wildland firefighting here in Florida, and this has been one of our worst years by far because of how dry it's been. Yeah. The economy's in shambles and the environment's even worse. But also, Tio Imi says, hi from Ireland, Diana. I found your channel through YouTube Shorts, which I love. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thanks for hopping into the streams. Good to see you guys. Luke says, I was raised on Mr. Rogers, This Old House, Red Dwarf, and Sesame Street, so I'm down with PBS. Dude, okay, speaking of This Old House, did you know that the people who ran This Old House actually have a, like, I think it's a TikTok account, it might also be a YouTube account, where they're teaching Gen Zers how to do simple things, like how to fix a squeaky door, or how to like make small repairs that are renter friendly and things like that. Like they're teaching people how to do all the easy stuff. It's no longer massive home renovations, because let's be honest, who can afford a home? But it's they teach people like little tips and tricks. It's like life hacks. It's like your dad teaching you how to fucking, I don't know, how to fix the hinges on a house. Lucas says I still watch This Old House. Turns out I have an old house. Oh right, yeah, I forgot you actually own a house. Whoops. Selvash says, who remembers Lamb Chop? Isn't it crazy how Lamb Chop went from being like this childhood staple with, oh my god, what's her name? The lady who was like best friends with that puppet? They went from like being a massive TV show to being like a really prized dog toy series, like a line of dog toys where you can get lamb chops in all different shapes and sizes. Sherry Lewis, that was it. Yeah. So, but now every time I see lamb chop, it's always like in a dog's mouth somewhere. Isn't that wild? Also, that moose, hi, over on YouTube saying, hey Diana, this 30-year-old D&D veteran is still proud of this gaming generation. Y'all are doing awesome. Oh, thank you. Dude, I have such respect for people. I've said this so many times before. I have such respect for people who have been playing D&D for forever and having to like watch the discourse as the game evolves. I imagine most of them are probably, if anything, probably like, oh my god, what are all these kids doing nowadays with my favorite war game? But so it's so refreshing to hear people be like, oh my god, I'm so glad people are getting into it. I'm so glad it's cool now. So that's always really like cool to see people being proud of the next generation of nerds, you know? Robbins over on Instagram says mine has 2 different versions of the lambs. Yeah, right? And then Michael says, these kids on my lawn? Hey, the kids on your lawn are now the cool kids. Can you, dude, I can't wait for the next generation of kids to completely flip things on their head and start bullying like the football players for not playing Dungeons and fucking Dragons. Vandal says your walkthrough of the new place went well. It did. I'm excited. It looked pretty good. I walked through with my landlady who said she hadn't been in there the entire, this was so funny. She hadn't been in since the old people moved out. So she was walking me through like all the different rules of the area. She was like, yeah, so this will be your internet provider. This will be your power provider. Obviously don't change your oil in the garage, anything like that. And I was like, lady, I don't know if you can, do I look like I know how to change oil? Do I look like I know what a dipstick is beyond an insult? And then she takes me out to where the trash goes out behind the place. And she just looks down at the glass recycling and she's like, yeah, by the way, there's no smoking or vaping anywhere on the property. And then she just points at her feet, and sitting at her feet, the old people who were moving out had thrown out a whole ass glass bong and just left it there for her to see. And she's like, don't do that. And I'm like, yep, bet, no problems here. I don't smoke. So it was just so funny. Will there be an HOA? Not that I have to deal with. I would rather die, personally. And Yvette says, you don't know what the spell slots are? What are you doing with your life? Yeah, literally. Just being like, oh my god, you handle a football? Like, what's your strength score? What, you don't know what a strength score is? You fucking loser? No, don't bully people, please. Bullying's not good. Um, Phantom says, what was the name of the show you mentioned about teaching youngins useful stuff? Oh, This Old House? From back in the day? Yeah, This Old House was like a home renovation show on PBS. And nowadays they've started doing like some pretty helpful stuff over on YouTube. I don't know if they're still keeping it up, but back in my day, back before the housing crisis. Let's see. What was there was another question. Oh yeah, what was someone asked, what's your biggest DM regret? As a DM, I regret not taking some form of improvisation lessons before actually starting to GM for the public. Granted, I've only ever GM'd for the public once, and that was during Blizz's charity fundraising for his cancer treatment. And so I GM'd for like Sachi and Aries and Shadley and all that, and I feel like I just need to be better at improv for some groups, especially like comedians like them, because I feel like I need to be quicker on my feet and need to not stress so much about focusing on telling a good story, and I need to be able to like roll with the punches a little bit better. But that's just a me thing. That's just my personal thing. I also almost spoiled someone's biggest secret during a game once, but that wasn't on screen. I accidentally almost revealed to an entire party that Hannah plays D&D, her character was a changeling and not actually an elf. Because I like let it slip because I was like, oh, changelings don't have night vision, so like, can you do this? And everyone was like, what do you mean changeling? Elves have night vision. And I was like, no, you don't. And I was like looking through my papers and I was like, oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh, you didn't know that. Oh no. Pretend I didn't say that. And everyone was like, okay, I won't. We're not gonna metagame, you know? But, yeah. Ratmax says, I do think there's no harm in taking even a minute to think about something. If you say, hold on, I gotta think, people are very accommodating, IMO. Yeah, I need to tell myself that a lot more as well. Hello, everyone over on Instagram saying, how have you been? I've been good. I just woke up, functionally, before stream started, so I'm vibing. Also, Ron Cinephile says, go to open mic comedy shows. Having comedian friends also gives you superpowers. It does. Also, watching comedy is the best way to learn comedy. I grew up on fucking, like, I don't know, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and YouTubers especially were helpful on that front. So, you know, you kind of absorb it via osmosis. I just wish I had more time nowadays to watch more comedy so I could get better at it. But my lawyer friend, Noah, says, you have great improv skills as a player for what it's worth. That's why I like having you at my table. I didn't get a chance to see your segment for Blaze, but I think you probably crushed it. Aw, I appreciate that. Thanks, Noah. Shucks. But Michael says we used to have a very good open mic night, but it's rough now. So I'm friends with Ben Brainerd, touring comedian down in LA. I told him once that I went to an open mic comedy show, and he just gave me the saddest look. And he was like, I'm so sorry you had to sit through that. And I'm like, yeah, I did kind of want to leave early. I don't know. I'm sure there were good bits. I don't remember any. Yeah. To be fair, stand-up comedy is also really fucking hard to do. That's a tough job. It's a tough role to fill. Nimbus says, I'm currently playing with a group that consists of a serial killer character, so I made a mini-game mechanic for their secret kills, and it's been pretty fun watching the rest of the party be completely oblivious as to what's going on and how it relates to the bodies they keep coming across. Oh, that's super cool. I imagine you could kind of work that into like a mechanic, almost like the way they have Under the Trees, where nobody sees, the TTRPG from Hunters. Hunters Entertainment. There we go. They put out, I did a video for it forever ago, so you guys might have heard it already on my channel, but they made a TTRPG for Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which is like this old comic book series about a bunch of like Richard Scarry level, super cute little animals that just exists in a super cute little town, except there's a serial killer running around. And potentially one of the players at the table could be the serial killer, but they have to, like the rest of the players who aren't, have to, like, what do you call it? They have to, fucking, like, figure out the mystery while one of the players who actually did it, if there is one, because it's randomized whether or not there even is a killer in the party, the killer in the party has to like you know, cover up their tracks and all that. Fireforge Mini says it's the person for all those videos I see while scrolling. Hello! And Noah says Hunters does a great job. I don't know what happened. I know! I was genuinely so okay, can I talk about this for a sec? I'm always excited about all of the like videos that I do, that all of the like sponsorships that I have. I never get sponsored by someone that I'm not like excited about, right? I wouldn't do that to you guys. I wouldn't do that to myself. And this one was so fucking cool. This fucking game looked amazing. And it really, really, really should have done a lot better. Because especially if you look down here, one of the coolest things I've ever seen is if you bagged it for the premium $550 level, you got the game shipped to you in a teddy bear that you have to cut open in order to access the game. insane gimmick. It's so cool. I love it. But yeah, it was like a whole murder like mystery style game. It looked amazing. The art was so cool. It made me want to read the graphic novel. And you know, you have to like investigate the body. You have to go through town and figure out exactly who did it. I think it's awesome. Cheese Prof says it's metal as fuck. Yeah, right. I feel, ugh, I don't know. I like Hunters a lot. They do really good stuff. Let's see. Oh, Adu, hello! And Deuce says, I want to stab a teddy bear. I know, right? And hi, Brayden says, good morning and good hello, everyone. Yves says, you want to go to a comedy show where there's audience interaction, but that's not the main element. I think what people realize, too, is so many different comedians who post their stuff on TikTok and whatnot have, they can only really post either really small segments of their actual stuff, or they can only post the little bits of crowd work that happen to go well because they don't want to ruin or spoil their main comedy. And so a lot of people will go see certain comedians based off of videos that they saw on TikTok or whatever, and they like don't realize that the whole show isn't just crowd work, and crowd work is actually really fucking hard. And so I find that, I don't know, I do find a lot of comedians through their crowd work, but it's also good to keep in mind that that's not all that they do, and it's usually a very small window into what they can actually show. Noah says crowd work is fun, though. It is fun. Especially when the crowd is, like, genuinely, like, so willing. When the crowd is also quick-witted, I guess I should say. Michael says, we sometimes get audience who think crowd work is the standard, and they can suck. Yeah, exactly. Which is rough, and that's just a bad expectation measuring, I suppose. Strange Manager says, I have to imagine shopping for a teddy bear you want to stab might be the beginnings of a serial killer. Right? Does it come with a scalpel? I'm pretty sure it came with a scalpel, too. Am I crazy? Hold on. Oh, scalpel not included. There we go. Yeah, are you feeling devious? A deluxe edition of the game packaged inside a cute, cuddly friend in overalls. But what's this? There's no way to get to it unless you... Well, you get the point. It's so fucking funny. That was genius. Anyway, Yves says, Diana, what percentage of your wardrobe is just green? You seem to always be wearing green. It's because it shows off my eyes. It matches my eyes, that is. It's a very big amount of my wardrobe. My aesthetic is fully green for a reason. I really am excited to go through and throw out all the stuff that has like holes and marks on it. Like this actually has, I don't wear it in public anymore because I burned it with a clothing iron. You can kind of see like a little black mark right here. It's ruins now. Hello, Rittler, saying, hey everybody, hey Diana, just checking, catching up on Chains of Asmodeus. How many campaigns are you involved in regularly, both in private and public? I do a lot of miniseries publicly. So we were just talking about Forgotten Past, which just premiered its first episode of the latest miniseries that I'm in today. So that's like live right now on Spotify if you just look up Forgotten Paths, hosted by Noah, my lawyer friend, who is in chat right now. Holding a gun to my head, metaphorically, if I don't plug the podcast. No, I'm kidding. It's really cool. That's honestly one of my favorites that I've done ever. Especially like the Christmas miniseries and introducing Captain Redjack. The whole team was awesome to work with for every series that I've been on. So I've been on 3 different miniseries on that channel. 3 or 4. Technically 4, actually, huh? And then beyond that, he's in the closet behind you, isn't he? Well, someone just sneezed. I think that was my neighbor. I heard it through the walls. The other one that I'm in is Chains of Asmodeus, which is the only like full-length campaign that I'm in publicly. The rest are all miniseries. I'm in the Beyond the Tavern Walls, kind of like, it's supposed to be a miniseries. It's gonna be more like 20-ish episodes, which is a post-apocalyptic D&D campaign. Noah says you're in about 30 episodes total. Oh yeah, I forgot that that's like a lot, and I'm in a lot. Holy shit. Yeah, 3 miniseries and 2 extended main campaign spots. Right, there we go. I'm also in, yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of miniseries. So right now I'm doing one on Tuesdays, which will be tomorrow, actually. So today's regular stream will not happen tomorrow. Instead, it's going to be replaced by a charity stream for Gold Star Gamers, hosted by the lovely Chris Perkins, the one and only Chris Perkins of Darrington Press, who is hosting a Daggerheart miniseries, just a 4-shot for us to help raise money for Gold Star Gamers. And then I'm also doing, so that's on Tuesdays. It's going on right now. On Sundays, I'm also doing a Darrington Press sponsored what is it called? 5 Banners Burning, I think is the actual campaign title, but we renamed it to The Grand Attorney, which is a political intrigue murder mystery 4-shot that we're doing, which is actually taking some crazy twists, and I'm really excited about it. Noah says kind of an announcement here, but September, smiley face. Ooh. And then Noir says, love your glasses. Wait, what's in September? What are we doing? Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, and Cheese Prop says you're in the storyteller thing on TikTok. Yes, I am also in the storyteller squad. This is like asking me to go through my entire like work portfolio. So if you go to my link tree, most of my guest spots. They're broken into interviews and actual play performances, and my actual play performances are like at the very bottom almost. And so you can find a lot of them there, and they go back ages and ages and ages. I think the first one I was ever on was several years ago. I think it was on Paige's channel. But yeah, Mr. Max, thanks for the sub. Welcome back. And Crits and Calamities is here, saying would love to get a boost sometime at one of the cons. I know, yeah. So fucking Gen Con has such a weird way of doing it because they have this whole like merit system where you can get dragon coins, I think they're called, or something like that. Oh wait, Natzer says Noah was announcing that season 3 of Forgotten Pass starts this September. Oh hell yeah, that's awesome. That's the first time it's said publicly, dude. You guys heard it here. Forgotten Pass season 3 is coming out in September. I've heard some cool stuff about that, about the what's coming up for that one too. You guys should get caught up first. Because Noah does a really good job of making sure all of the canon stays like canon and leads into itself and the player choices actually do impact the world. Highly recommend catching up on the old episodes in time for September. That'll be a lot of fun and you guys will be really happy with who's showing up on that show. It's gonna be amazing. DB says, what's happening in September? Clearly 9/11 Remembrance episode. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, Natsu says literally, I'm amazed at how much the miniseries tie in. It's so good. It is really fucking cool. Also, like, there's an object that I had from a miniseries that I did for Christmas fucking 2 years ago that my character canonically, like, grabbed on her way out, and then I still haven't used it. So I kind of want to use it during this miniseries because I don't know what it does. But, like, that's how much everything ties into itself and stays canon and stays... Like, you can see the plot threads coming from way off. Or you can't see them coming from way off, but they weave in. But yeah. Noah says not to self-promote too much, but you can listen to it as individual pieces. But if you listen to everything, it's an enriched experience. That's true. I'm also the type of person who wants to play, like, Elder Scrolls Arena before playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim again. So I'm a lore slut. I have merch about it and everything. So I tend to be like, please read everything, watch everything, go back and know what the timeline is. But I guess you don't have to do that. Fine. I always do it. I'm a big fan. Actually, before I started on the campaign, I think I listened to everything from season 1 at 2 times speed for the days leading up to it because I was like, I need to know what's going on. And I think it benefited. Nancy says you haven't pre-recorded all the miniseries already. I'm shocked. No, I don't know what's happening. I couldn't spoil it if I wanted to. We're still recording. But I'm excited. Let's see. Oh my god, I never even opened fucking Dawn of Madness. Do I have scissors. Okay. So I got something. I got a game. And it's a game that I have been, that I didn't kickstart, but I pre-ordered on GameFound fucking forever ago. And it's been sitting, it just arrived like maybe 10 minutes before I started streaming. Oh yeah, here's the hydrate for you. By the way, highly recommend getting a boba straw for drinking water. It kind of unintentionally gets you to drink a lot more water. You know, just with higher flow. If there's one thing we love on this channel, it's high flow. Crits and Calamity says, yes, my players found out about a big plot point and completely ignored that, and the world continued on, and they were so upset. So this is a hot take. But I run my games in a way where everything is kind of frozen in time, essentially. I'm gonna put that down. Everything's frozen in time. And as soon as the players reach an area and come across a plot hook for the first time, as soon as they touch it, then it unfreezes and the world continues on. So if they choose to find a plot point that could potentially lead to really bad things and they don't pick up on it and they choose to ignore it, well, I asked them outside of the campaign during session 0, I'm like, hey, how much hints? How many types of hints do you want me to give you? Like, if you're about to miss a plot point, do you want me to stop you and tell you that you're about to miss it? Or do you want to just like miss it and play it organically? Like, do you not want a metagame? So I asked them how they want to handle that. But if they miss a plot point, then, you know, the world will continue. And the enemies will continue making plans and gathering pieces and doing stuff in the background. In fact, one thing that I really recommend GMs do when they're writing their own campaigns is to make sure that the big bad evil guys have a concurrent running plan at the same time as the party has a plan, so that the party has no choice but to choose whether or not they want to pursue their own interests or actively counteract whatever the, you know, big bad evil guy is doing. And if they choose to, like, you know, for example, if they have to make a decision between saving a beloved NPC from a burning village or going after the big bad evil guy before he gets to a magic orb that will help fulfill his plan, and they choose to go after the NPC. Great, the big bad evil guy now has the evil orb that will fulfill his plan, and like they have to deal with that down the road. Like the big bad evil guy needs to be doing things in the background, and they need to be working on their own plans. They can't just be sitting around in some castle somewhere waiting for the party to roll up on them and kill them. That's not how that works. They also need to be honing their skills and working towards something, and the party should be seeing the effects of that, you know, throughout the campaign. Noah says, yeah, people don't stop living / advancing plans just because you're not with them. Exactly, right? That being said, I don't start advancing a plan until the party knows about it, so that's what I mean by having the world kind of like be frozen. Plans are frozen until they come across an area for the first time and like clear that fog of war, and then the machinations start, you know, moving, the gears start turning. And then after that, if they ignore it, then that's on them, you know. They might come back. I think there was this one time I played Curse of Strahd, and I was running it with a special zombie like outbreak in the starting village of Barovia. And what was happening was there was this you know, random chance where 1 in every 4 houses was infected by zombies or had the entirety of the inhabitants overtaken by the zombie plague, and were just like locked inside. The house was condemned and the rest of the villagers were too afraid to go near it, right? And the party was like trying to figure out where this zombie plague was coming from. And when they investigated one of the houses, they cleaned it out, they killed all the zombies inside, and they looked around, they saw a pan of water. It was a washerwoman's home, essentially. Like a laundromat. Ye old laundromat. You drop off your clothes, you get them washed, you come back the next day and pick them up. And the water was kind of gross. One of the players took a sample of it in a little vial, and it had like some stuff floating on the top, like little bits of what looked to be brownish, reddish substance. And unrelated to that, they didn't bother figuring out what exactly was happening with the water, but later on they walked past the well and they heard strange noises inside, like splashes and groaning. And they went down into the well, found out that there were zombies down there, including dead bodies that had been thrown in to corrupt the water supply, and then they left. They didn't deal with it. They were like, this seems like a problem for next time, and they walked away from the town and moved on to the next village. So if they come back to that first starting village later, it's gonna be decimated. It's gonna not have a functioning, like, you Walking Deaded them. Yeah, I forgot that happened in Walking Dead. God damn it. Why'd you have to point that out, Noah? Fuck, I thought it was being genius. No, yeah, that's 100%. Well, like, and Strahd had done it intentionally to kind of smoke out. It was a Curse of Strahd campaign, so Strahd had done it intentionally to smoke out what's the lady? Irina? He was trying to get her to move out of the safety of Barovia village and over closer to his castle, essentially, where he could reach her a lot quicker and easier. And so he like had done that to corrupt the village and make it no longer safe for her to stay. Anyway, the party walked away. If they came back later, they would find that the village was functionally non-functional. There were no longer supplies going in and out of there. People would have been, you know, just kind of sheltering in place. And they might have figured out that the water was the problem, but they would have figured it out by themselves way too late. All that fun stuff. Noah says, no, you did it louder and later. Thank you. And Chiso says, the biggest not my problem. Basically, yeah, I think they were actively pretty bad for that town. Nimbus says that basic serial killer minigame. There are 4 successive skill checks. Starting DC varies. The successes on each check, the next DC drops by 1. The failure increases by 3. Okay, got it. So the DC goes up and down depending on if you succeed or fail. She gets to know if there's advantage or disadvantage to the following, gets to choose which skill she wants out of the options listed. Victim selection is insight and perception. Pursuit is acrobatics and survival. Avoidance is deception and stealth. And takedown is sleight of hand or attack roll. The final roll is either successful murder or a D10 consequence table. That'd be a cool consequence table. That'd be super sick. But Red Hood says that's actually why I enjoy doing an evil party of 2 or 3 characters that sometimes the BBG, that help the BBG in those moments and sometimes leads to fun back and forth. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of fun things. If you ever play Curse of Strahd, which I highly recommend, by the way, it's one of my favorite modules. You just have to fix some of the racism and all that. Definitely recommend looking at the Curse of Strahd subreddit. They have done amazing work in enhancing the module way beyond what it normally is, which is kind of bare bones. Like, it doesn't have a lot of motivations for Strahd. It doesn't have a lot of lore from the old versions carried into this new version, so it leaves a lot to be desired. There's not a whole lot to the map if you wander outside the main like roads, and so the thing that I recommend looking at it for is because it has potential encounters where Strahd can guide the party into working for him. You know, he might hypnotize a party member while they're on watch, have them do something for him, and then just like subtly leave a bag of coins stamped with his face on them, you know, as a thank you. And then when everyone wakes up the next morning, they're like, wait, Where the fuck did all this money come from? What's happening? Are you secretly working for the bad guy? And then it sows like, you know, discord among the party members, which is always so much fun, always amazing to do. Let's see. Nasser says we better open the boxes. That's so true. I am gonna have them open before Wednesday. I need to. I don't have my box cutter. It's in the kitchen, so I'm just gonna kind of awkwardly tear this apart. If anything, this is just me harvesting packing materials, so that way I can use them to move. Seblash says I ran a whole Shadowrun game that way back in the day. It's glorious when your players start suspecting each other. Yeah, and also that's how the whole goal of Curse of Strahd, as written by the people who are doing it in the Curse of Strahd subreddit, is they try and make it so that Strahd is trying to corrupt the party and trying to find almost an heir to his throne, in a sense, if he manages to do it to a sufficient enough degree, because he's essentially a prisoner in his own domain. And if the party members get corrupted enough, or if they happen to work for... There's like a way to become a servant of the other dark powers, and I think I called them the Umbral Council or something like that. And especially warlocks could be susceptible to working for these guys and making deals with them, making pacts with them. If someone who was working for one of the other Umbral powers killed Strahd and actually delivered the killing blow, their soul would be placed on the throne of Barovia in Strahd's place, and they would be trapped there for eternity. It might change. It wouldn't be a vampiric, you know, town anymore. It might be more like a little like, I don't know, it could be shaped to their will, which might be fun for them. It would slowly get unfun. Strange Miniature says, why are you trying to convince us to go directly to Strahd, and why'd you just eat that bug? And Yvette says, you'd be fine with scissors. What's the worst that can happen? These are practically safety scissors. They don't even close the whole way. I don't know. When I was a kid, my dad had blunted scissors that he had DIY'd into safety scissors. Personally, I think I could have been trusted at 8 years old with some sharp ones. Oh no, it was the other way around. He took normal safety scissors and he was pissed off by how safe they were, so he sharpened the edges and made them stabbing weapons. Like proper sharpened, like real, like pointier than normal scissors. They were proper blades, dude. It was wild. That man needs help. Anyway. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, there is so much stuff in here. I don't know if I've told you guys this before. I definitely have. Whenever I back something on, back kit, Kickstarter, whatever, I have to get everything that belongs to that game. I have to get the full complete series, which means I have so many boxes in here. Hold on. I don't recall what any of these are, too. So we're gonna discover this together. I think this is minis. It sounds like minis. Mass Bandit says, do you ever use physical puzzles or above table challenges for your players, or would you like any ideas? I always like them. I like the concept of them, but I don't often get... It's Diana, oh my gosh. yeah. Granted, it's past money. It's girl math. This showed up at my door and it was free because I paid for it about a year ago, so therefore, it's on last year's taxes as a business expense. Thank you, by the way. Noah, don't quote me on that and don't fact check me. Just let me live in peace. It's a tax expense, because now I'm showing you guys. Since I already spent the money, it's basically free. But yeah, no, I feel like I have to ask the party if they're okay with above table puzzles. And this is something that you guys should do as well. Make sure that your party is okay with you throwing riddles and puzzles and physical challenges at them. First of all, because you need to know how they feel about their own capabilities to do above the table. I know that I personally fucking can't stand it a lot of the time, most of the time, if I'm told to do riddles and things like that, because I know I don't know the same thing as my characters. And my character might be dumb as fuck and I might know the answer, or vice versa. I've also had party members, or I've played in parties with people who are like, hey, I'm dyslexic. Like, if you try and throw a word puzzle at me, it's just not gonna work. I'd rather just kind of settle it all in-game. So it comes down to what your party wants. Everything in D&D does. You have to, in TTRPGs do, you have to ask your party what they feel like they want to do, and then that will be how, that should be guiding you. It shouldn't be what you want to do, it's the story they want to tell. Let's see, Eric says the childproof ones are the rounded edges. Yeah, exactly. And Noah also says, every villain needs a reason to be. A really good way to see that is in action is the One Bad Day series, where we see the defining standalone story for Batman's villains. Oh, I've never heard of that. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, exactly. No, fucking every villain thinks they're doing something right. In fact, the only difference between a villain and a hero is the method of achieving usually, like, oftentimes the same thing. someone wants to get justice for some sort of cause, you know, maybe they want to avenge their family, and in order to do so, they level an entire town worth of people that they think happen to be in the wrong and cause the death of their family. Like Thanos is always the example I go to, because Thanos was just trying to solve functionally overpopulation and environmental issues. He just happened to choose the wrong way of doing it. He chose the shortcut way of doing it. And so you can often take like real heroic endeavors, even your party's own heroic endeavors, the things that they want to see happen in the world, and then make a villain by just going about it the wrong way, you know? Lucas says the only difference between a hero and the villain is how the history books describe it. Yeah, what's that saying about war? Where people, what do they say? The war is defined by the winners or something like that, you know? But yeah, here's the standees. I believe I also have the actual miniature sculpts somewhere as well, which is cool. Deuce says, counterpoint, Darth Sidious. I don't know who that is. Oh yeah, it's also May the 4th, isn't it? That's like the Star Wars thing. Happy Star Wars Day to those who celebrate. Ooh! Oh, okay, so they do actually have the miniatures. Hold on. History is written by the victors. That's the one. Noah says the Star Wars thing. Here's the thing, you guys also made it so that you Star Wars lovers, and I say that derogatorily, you have made it so that the entirety of May is Star Wars now. Because don't you have May the 4th, and then Revenge of the 5th, and then there's What's His Fuck's Birthday, which is also in May? You know, it's a lot. Calm down. Spread it out a little, at least. Adu says, adding perspective shift as a stat helps manage the player's alignment shifts instead of making it feel like forced choice they took. Negative versus positive focused roles. It helps give consequences and also add existential crises that play into them. Yeah, everyone needs an existential crisis. If every campaign in the world could have one thing, it should be moral quandaries and existential crises, for sure. May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th. That's it. That's only 3 days. That's a lot of fucking days for a TV show. For a movie series that then turned into a TV show that then turned into a third of Disneyland, technically. But here are the minis. This is, I think, a series of depression monsters. You can kind of see, it actually reminds me of the fucking poster that's behind me. I can't quite 100% tell what they are. So this is this guy. They're all blood red, and they're all kind of the same looking. They just have their hands in different wailing positions. Wild. Nimbus says the main villain in my comics is the intentional foil of the idea, where he doesn't see himself as a hero, but instead the villain he believes is necessary to inspire heroes to stand up. He decided to be the best villain he can be. Oh yeah, that's kind of like the what do you call it? Like The Boys, right? Where they created villains so that they could have heroes. Oh man, they sent me the Spanish version as well. Here we go. So this is the Spanish version of all of the 3 sculpts. The 3 sculpts all represent different forms of depression. So there's despair, woe, melancholy, and dejection, which is wild. Riddler says, kind of like Christopher Waltz described playing Hans Lada in Inglourious Bastards. He didn't try and play an evil guy, but a guy who thinks he's doing good. Oh yeah, 1000%. And Strange Miniature says, a fleece golem. It's soft as fuck. Oh yeah. Also, Draconis says, looks like it could have come out of one of Sean Koss's mental health books. I don't think I've heard of that. But yeah, it's kind of a flesh golem-y vibe. It's got fleshy vibes to it. You can also see it's got a bit of a weird tail there, like an uncomfortable looking stance and all that. The art is so fucking good, dude. Yeah, right? I just went after this, 'cause, again, saw it at Gen Con and was like, oh my god, I need everything. It was the exact same energy as I had when I was looking at Tainted Grail back in the day, which I love that game so much. There's gotta be some that are easier to see. We also have, so that was Depression. These are the Watchers, which are, so the whole game, the whole series, if you want to look it up yourself, is called Dawn of Madness. Not a sponsor. That's not what this is doing. This is just me opening shit up because I'm moving soon, so I feel like I no longer have to clean my apartment. I can just kind of like clean it as I'm moving out, and so I can make a mess of things, and this just showed up, so I may as well do it on camera. Caleb, hello over on YouTube saying, hey there, love your content. Ah, thank you. And oop. Okay. This is, yeah, the Watcher. Oh my god, these are fucking wild themes. So this is broken into 3 types. There's Eternal, Infinite and Genesis. The Infinite Watcher, the Eternal Watcher, the Genesis Watcher, I suppose. And then the actual minis look like they're also red. Hold on. Here we go. Nonster says those nails are tools for unboxing. Definitely business expenses. Oh yeah, except they're kind of old. I should really like, hold on. I need to tear these off because they're not going to survive the move anyway. It's kind of like peeling them off is very, it does hurt a little bit, but it's almost like when you see parrots using their tongue and beak to pry open a sunflower seed. Same energy, I always feel like. But here we go. These are the watchers. This one's holding what looks to be a oversized, is that a magnifying glass? Or no, sorry, an hourglass? I can't tell. It looks like it's connected by some sort of pipe or something. Or it looks like it's pouring something out. Can you see that? It's like got some liquid coming out of it. An hourglass, sort of, yeah. Lucas says, at least I won't have to move any living plants between places. Leave me alone. My plants are doing great, okay? We also have this guy, which is made up of, God, this is a cool sculpt. I always love it. If there's one thing that's just like my favorite thing ever in technology that happened in the last couple of years, there was the concept of 3D printing is so crazy to me. Like, back when I was a kid, I was like, oh, you can't, printing is 2D. It's expensive, and it's two-dimensional, and it's, you know, pictures on paper. The concept of 3D printing has become, is like so mind-blowing to me. Because it came up so fast, right? Like, if you think about it, it's like, oh my god, we can just come up with something, and then print it out, and it can be in your home. I think we're like 2 steps away from that one Spy Kids thing where you got to like take a packet of food, put it in a microwave, press a button, and then you would have like a whole ass McDonald's hamburger come out 2 seconds later. I think we're very close to that. Eric says 3D printing anything you can dream up is so nice. Yeah, and then with the minis like this too, where you can have like the hollow interiors and the I guess the physicality of the sculpt still keeps it upright and it looks hollow on the inside, and it's gonna be a painting nightmare for sure. But it's so cool. I love this sort of stuff. Dorksider, hello! Oh my god, guys! Everyone say hi to Dorksider. They're over on YouTube. They're who I did the interview with yesterday, actually. Great talking to you yesterday. Started editing the interview today. Those sculpts are fantastic. I've been painting all evening. Yeah, it's such a vibe. I'm so excited to never paint these. I never have time. I have too many minis. This one is kind of giving Doc Ock vibes. Oh, it's very much giving Doc Ock vibes. So you can see like the little grabby things at the base of it. Strange Miniatures says 3D printing is a hobby all on its own. It is. It's so cool. I'm so glad I don't have a 3D printer because I would spend so much money on like STL files that I would print and then inevitably never do anything with, you know? But it's really cool. If you guys haven't already looked, there's some really mature like horror style miniatures available on, is it Mini Market? Maybe? It might be. And I don't know, it's really cool. Hi Taffy, holy shit. Oh wait, no, it's Noah gifting a sub to Taffy. I appreciate that, Noah, thank you. Guys, if you don't offer, normally I'd say, hey, you guys should see who McLaffy Taffy is. They're an amazing streamer, but they stopped streaming. He kind of half retired and switched back to a music career. Oh, hey, Taffy saying, no, I did say that I had to come say hello. Hi, guys, everyone say hi to Taffy. Amazing human being and is always, can be counted on to share oysters with me as needed during PAX East specifically. Lucas says, Miniature Market is a local retail shop here in St. Louis. It's a problem for me. Yeah, dude, there's some cool shit out there. But yeah, we're currently in the process of opening the entire Dawn of Madness collection purely because it showed up at my door 10 minutes ago. This is the Forgotten Void, which looks horrifying a little bit. I think that's its face up here. But we're also in the middle of moving, so I'm slowly packing things up in my off hours. Yeah, this is... I'm so excited for this game. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it. Thank God I'm moving now. Oh my god, there's no more room in my apartment. I've fully maxed out the space, if not overmaxed it for how much, like, shelf room I have. If anything, I think 90% of my income for the next 3 months is probably gonna be, the purely for, like, shelving for the game room upstairs. I really do want to make it look almost like a like a game store, where you walk into a game store, you see these nice wooden shelves, you see the games just like front and center, you know, box facing outward, and it looks so cool and cozy. God, if I could have like a little like bar cart or somewhere with taps upstairs as well. I'd be so excited. Okay, Forgotten Void. It's a wanderer named Mordecai Ashford, where you discover the ancient ruins of Kem and the horrific ritual it conceals in its bowels. It's a place that couldn't possibly exist in South America. Kem is a lost city. It's a place of marvels and blood from a long time ago. The team explored its forests and swamps, studied its monolithic pyramid in an unthinkable observatory, and finally plunged into a dark chamber of teeth and bones. Mordecai entered with 3 of his top students, and only he returned. 10 years later, Mordecai returns to the cursed wilds of Kem, plunging back into the darkness to the altar of bones, surrounded by the 4 menacing pillars. He will complete the ritual that took his students, enter the other world that traps them, and bring them home, even if it means ushering an ancient world-ending entity back with them. However, Mordecai will not be alone as he explores the Dread Realm. His students are there too, and they all have their own nightmares to overcome. So it's a horror game, if you didn't figure it out. Here's your hint, by the way. I don't know how this game is played. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's like single player or multiplayer. I don't know if it's how its pieces work or how the stories work. But I just bought it because it looks cool and I'm weak. Adu says, wait a sec, the stream can aptly also be named Dawn of Madness. Kinda, yeah. Oh my god, there's specific, it's broken into different books. This one is called The Void. And then there's The Will. And then, oops. Game 2. It's called The Blood. It's some dark, I just like dark art, you know? And I also, I find it to be really good inspo for TTRPGs. Hey, Red, thanks so much for the gifted subs. Oh my god, Red saying, moving, does that mean you have to go on cider spot adventures? I will still be an avid lover. But I haven't looked at what's in the new area. Again, I kind of just like immediately signed the lease as soon as I could because it was one of those things where housing is really hard to get a hold of. And so as soon as it was available, I jumped for it. So I don't know what's in the area. I don't know where I'm gonna go shopping. I don't know anything. Granted, even if I did, I couldn't tell you guys because I don't want anyone pinning down where I live, but I don't know what's around there. Regardless, I'm gonna be moving further away from where my avid supplier is, so I will have to drive across town to get it now, but you know. Looked cool, and I'm weak. Can describe 100% of my TTRPG purchases, says Ishan. Yeah, yup. So these are the, oh my god, the fucking students were turned into pillars. I see. Okay, so the different books describe the different students' like fates. Oh, that's horrifying. There's conjured horrors, arcane knowledge, forbidden secrets. Oh my god, and you can also see the students who have been like turned into horrifying things, and they all have their own abilities. Okay, so these all cardboard cutouts all have their own. I'm gonna have to spend so much time later punching these out and like properly assembling them. This is gonna be a mess. But let me get the actual miniatures for these guys out, because that's what I'm interested in. Yves says, hopefully your new place isn't in a desolate area. I hope so. I am gonna get another Costco membership, because the new place does have a garage, so I can actually store things like excess food and all that. Oh no, it kind of exploded. Oh no. But this is... Does this have any dicks on it? Might have to be careful. No, okay. There's a non-zero amount of miniatures in my home that have just penises everywhere. It's mostly Kingdom Death stuff. But this is, I'm guessing, the main boss for this expansion? US says opens trench coat. I got this stuff straight from the source. You kids want some. I might just have to, if there is a way to, hold on, is this a thing where you can buy, because I know my job has one, a little, what do you call it? You take a keg and you connect it to like a little spout and you can have like a little pourer. Hold on, at home taps. Not like water taps, beer taps. There we go. What am I, hydrated? No. Okay, beer taps, they're like, where, I feel like there's a whole ass machine that you can buy though, where you can connect a portable beer tap maybe? No? I know that there's something where you can like slide a keg into like a little cabinet and then it connects up at the top and then it does like a little thing. I don't know, man. Onyx, thank you so much for the sub. It's a tap? Yeah, right, but like how... Electric beer tap home. Okay, wait, hold on. Electric beer tap for home. A kegerator? Or keg mount? A beer dispenser for home. Sure. Yes! Like one of these! Where you can just... Can you add a keg to the bottom and then just kind of like... Yeah, you can! Fits multiples. Ooh! Oh, fascinating. Okay. Yeah, having this in a game room with like a little cabinet like this right next to the... Right next to it. It's incredibly expensive though. I don't think I'm gonna have that anytime soon. Not just as I know Google food. Yeah, right. I used to date someone who didn't know how to Google things. And that sounds really difficult to... How do I put this? How do I put this? How do I put this? Love them to death, by the way. This is not a bad ex, but this is definitely did not work out. I ended it after less than a year, I think. And this wasn't one of the reasons that I ended it, but it was so funny to me. They don't know how to Google things in the sense that they can't like shorten a sentence to... they know how to use Google. He knew how to use Google. He didn't know how... He would like type in full sentences. Like, show me one of those things that you use to dispense beer in home or something like that, period. And like I'd be like, that's not really how that works. And it was like he would get wrong answers all the time because he didn't know how to like how to convert what he was looking for into something that a search engine could use. Was he AI prompting before AI? Actually though, I think he legit was. It was so funny and it would take so much time for him to find anything. He wasn't the most technologically apt. It was funny, if anything. Dragonbane says, removing. I hope to have my own place by myself by July. Hell yeah, dude, having your own place is such a foundational experience in your early adult life. I'm so stoked I got to do it so early. Like back when I was I think the first time I lived without anyone was in college. And I was a kind of like functionally a summer RA, where I got to have a campus, like a full corner room to myself with 3 beds in it. It was like a triple, essentially, a triple dorm. And I got to have it all to myself. And it was summer, so no one else was really on campus at all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, wait. I'm figuring out what these minis are. Sorry. So this is... Okay, here. Let me show you this evolution. Again, I don't know what this story is, but it starts off with this guy. This is the professor, I'm guessing, who went into that jungle forever ago. And then he comes across the altar and starts doing something at it. The altar has like an actual... It's detailed enough to have inscriptions at the top. How crazy is that? And then I guess some sort of transformation starts happening because then he... Oh my god, yeah, this is him getting taken over by whatever the fuck is coming out of the altar. This is so sick. Here we go. And it evolves and transforms him, I think? I'm trying to piece this together. Here we are. And then lastly, it turns into the big bad, I'm guessing. This is so cool. Not just as praised and it doesn't knock the box off of her knee. Yeah, it's already got everything's kind of falling apart here. And it has like all of the stories for the different characters. So this is like Mordecai, the main dude. I'm so curious about this game, dude. I'm fucking stoked for this. Oh my god. And then there's all the different characters, all the students as well in their normal forms, and then their transformed forms and their stories. Not just has more desk space added to Diana's move-in wish list. Yeah, I'm gonna get a new back desk back there. There's the one that I use for filming, but it's a little too small, and it's also in kind of a cramped little corner to the point that I don't really sit there anymore. It's unreasonable for me to try and move the chair. Yvette says, were you cool or a narc as an RA? I don't think I ever reported anyone for anything, but I also wasn't a summer RA for students. They had a separate thing for that. I was more summer RA because OSU's campus, they rent it out for traveling like conferences and for summer camps and all that sort of stuff in the summer. And so the people who like rent it out were, you know, usually kids like much younger than me. There'd be youth groups or baseball teams that were traveling into Oregon from California that needed a place to stay, and so we'd give them the dorms, things like that. And so I didn't really run into trouble with them because they didn't stick around long enough to cause trouble, right? Like they were on vacation. Aina says, recently bought Fae Dominion and would love to know your top 10 upgrades. Oh, is that the... It's a pre-con, but I don't recall what it is. I'm not very good at Fae stuff. When it comes to Magic the Gathering, I don't run a lot of blue-black decks, which is what I'm assuming it is, so unfortunately, I don't personally know a whole lot. What I do recommend is looking at EDH Rec, if you guys haven't already. It's anytime you're playing Magic the Gathering, you can go to this website, you can straight up search Fey Dominion, I think is like one of, yeah, the precon, here we go. You can look up the precons, you can look up your potential commanders, it tells you who it is, and, oh yeah, it's from Eldraine, okay. And then it tells you what you want to cut and what you want to add to the deck. It's so helpful. I've been doing that, even if it's not in a precon. So for example, I was just building a werewolf commander, like last night, so I could look up werewolves, and then it'll tell me who the most popular werewolves commanders are, and I think I made mine, hold on. There we go. Top commanders, Tovolar. And it tells you like what cards you can add to it and what you can like have as far as instants, recommended creatures, recommended sorceries, all that fun stuff. So that's what I recommend. But yeah. Let's see. Mr. Max says I hated my dorm experience. I literally heard the fire alarm in my dreams. Dude, yeah. It's fucking awful. Oh my god. The fucking fire alarms were just, they sounded like a bird that was dying slowly and painfully. It was awful. I hated those things. And we had to do fire alarm drills so often, and they wouldn't tell us when they would be. So the amount of students that would wander out of their dorms, like, basically like in towels and stuff like that, because they didn't have time to grab their shit, it happened all the time. There's always someone. It was awful. But let's see. As far as, like, me and my experience back when I was a like dorm person though, I think I had 1 or 2 times where people would, God, they would get locked out of their dorms and we had to be the ones to go and like rescue them. And one time there was a, God, what do you call it? Kind of a coach for like a little kids baseball team who had somehow gone out on the town in Corvallis fucking Oregon, which there's maybe 2 bars in that town. It's teeny tiny, and had gotten super drunk, lost his keys, and was locked out of his room, and had somehow lost his shirt as well, and like someone had to go out and rescue him. And we just all agreed never to, like, we were like, we're not gonna tell anyone about this, but Jesus, dude. Mr. Max says stupid football players burned popcorn to cover up their weed. That would never work. That would so wildly not work. What the fuck? Cause like, it would just smell like they tried to use weed butter, if anything, to top their burned popcorn with. It's awful. Here we go. Here's another one. Another Dawn of Madness expansion. Ooh, this one's like a movie theater. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Of Art and Oblivion, it says. Ooh, okay. This is sick. So this must be another story. Adu says, ooh, EDH Rec is amazing. I made my Vish Kel commander by using that as a reference like 10 years ago, and it still works so well when I get to play Magic. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's see. Michael says you have a great voice. Thank you so much. I try my best. I haven't done a whole lot of voice acting, but I do want to for funsies as a supplement to TTRPG stuff. Hi, Maddie. We're opening up a horror game that just showed up at my door. This is Dawn of Madness. I don't know what it's about. I don't know how to play it. I just saw that it has minis, and I wanted to play it. Natsu says I grew my voice myself. Thanks. Yeah, really. I've only ever done voice acting twice, technically. One, if you don't count like at the table stuff and doing voices for characters, which just kind of happens passively all the time. One of them would have been when I was doing the Bardic Hearth, which if you guys haven't already listened to it, it's on Spotify. It's called, the episode that I'm in is called A Bard's Lament, I'm pretty sure. And it's a series where I did an audio drama, playing as one of my old D&D characters, essentially. Hi! Oh my god, Susan GM. Hello. I'm on my lunch break lurking for a minute. Good to see you. Hello! We should wrap up here soon, actually, because I'm a little over, but I do want to open at least a couple more of these boxes. Oh my god, Maddie! Oh, Maddie just tipped $10. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's for moving costs. Have I told you? I told you I'm moving, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Yes, we talked about this. Also, Yvette says you've been using it for 28, I think, years. You gotta pick up a thing or two. Yeah, so that would be the first time. The second time would have technically been when I was doing that promo for the Daggerheart show, where I kind of voice acted a little bit, but it's like the difference between that and voice acting and what I do for TTRPGs is straight up just whether or not I have a script. It's really just me doing silly little voices all the time. That's really it. Oh my god. This is straight up about the King in Yellow. It's Elder Tor, dude. So that's what this module is about. It says, Art and Oblivion introduces a new wanderer and his story plunging players into a fresh work of horror and obsession. In the shrouded depths of a forgotten theater dwells a man haunted by the ghosts of his past and tormented by his own deluded ambitions. He navigates a realm that drifts between a bygone era's grandeur and desolate decay. He feels abandoned and lonely, but he's not alone. A god beckons to the man from an unknown reality, whispering to him through the cracks in the world and his shattered psyche. It speaks to him of the play. It needs his help. It wants him to be a star. He's always dreamed of being a star. Haunted by his memories too painful to recall and mistakes too grievous to mend, the failed actor presses through the tempest of his mind to spearhead his dream production. The phantoms take shape, the mad dance begins. Opening night is coming, and there's so much work to do. Ooh. Prepare to plunge into a new world of guilt and denial, of drive and consequence, and of art and oblivion. So, we have, oh my god. The character's, like, whole-ass transformation into a guy called the King of Lies. There's also a bunch of actors, which are manifestations of terror, and then the final boss is the King in Yellow. And there's also a miniature for the stage itself. Hold on. So here's the standees. You can see them there. And then Maddie says, I want all the photos of the new place in my DM soon. In return, I can offer the cuntiest house I found on realestate.com the other day. It's only 4.2 million a steal. In Adelaide? I mean, I guess. To be fair, that house is probably really pretty. Guys, can I also point out, I once visited Maddie's parents down in Australia when I was visiting last year. Their house is so fucking nice. Holy shit. They have a whole ass yard with like actual art and everything scattered around, and it looks amazing. Sorry, I'm searching to make sure there's no dicks in this one. I think it's all covered by gore. So, I think we're good. Yeah, here we go. So here's the stage. And you can see around the outside are a bunch of zombified actors, essentially. Hi, Brayden. Lena says punching out all the cardboard is going to be so satisfying. It is. It's going to be hell on my fingers, but it's fine. And Kansuke over on YouTube says, the Bardic Hearth is amazing. It's been inspirational. I adore that show. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, I had the pleasure of being in episode 2, which was so much fun. There's a lot of D&D content creators who are in that show, actually, that have guest starred, and it's so cool. The design is amazing. The fact that he writes all the songs and performs them himself is so cool. Here we go. Let me pull up the King in Yellow. That's really what I want to see. Yeah, here we go. So here is the final boss for this one. So cool. Maddie says my parents are art hoes. It's true. They have like, I think, didn't they have a decorative bench that was actually like an art installation in their yard? I looked out in the backyard and they had like a spotlight on a bench. It was red, right? That was just in the middle of the yard, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool bench. And they're like, yeah, it's actually art. And I'm like, what the fuck? Their entire house is just full to the brim with really cool art pieces and like really amazing displays for them. Yves says the King in Yellow points to a completely red mini. Hey! I mean, I guess. You're not wrong, but fuck. Also, Brayden says we have no grass because it's dead, smiley face. And also, thanks so much for the sub with Prime. Yeah, I feel you. Desert girly, I know exactly how you feel. The apartment complex that I live in has nothing but dead grass outside and signs everywhere saying do not, let your dogs urinate on the grass and all that sort of stuff. And every time I look outside my window, there's a dog actively urinating on the grass. They do nothing to enforce it, and you can definitely tell there's like spots everywhere. Ted Jack says, hey, I love your streams and other videos. They help me stay connected to TTRPG games since I don't really have anyone to play with. Oh yeah, no, I'm so glad that it helps you feel like, I mean, if anything, what I used to do back in the day when I know when to play with is I just world built and planned for forever, so that way when I did have someone to play with, I'd be ready to go. So I'm glad it's helping in a sense. Nodzer says, starts a box 2 chant. Wait. Oh, talking about another box of... Oh wait, and Luger says, if the grass outside is dead, why don't you just use that as a scapegoat for your plants? Like maybe the land itself is cursed. You're so true. Also, Tallbard says grass is the problem. It's a weak plant. I said that in my head in like the most Russian accent ever. But Lino says desert girly. Yeah, your houseplants can attest to that. I refuse to make my home humid. I know that my plants would be so much better if they had humidifiers everywhere, but I just don't want to deal with it. I like my hair not being volumized against my will, Vandal says I sold my home in Vegas, but everything was dead all the time because of Vegas. And my HOA was always on my ass for things dying in the summer. Thank God I'm out of there. Dude, I have a funny story about that. One of my friends actually, hold on, wait. I want to open up another box while I talk. This is Dawn of Madness, the Numina. Whoa. Oh, this is like a space one. It's like a Cthulhu-ish space one. Ugh. So it also has lore. Like a little lore card taped to the outside. Hold on. Also, the one and only Puzzle, hello! Thank you so much for the sub! And Nuts just says, that looks a little spacey. Diana puts to one side. I don't really like space stuff. I famously don't like space stuff. This one time I had a friend who was renting a house out on the other side of town. And they were renting like a full house with a full yard and everything like that. And part of their lease was that they had to take care of the lawn. The thing is, we live in a desert, and water is incredibly expensive to water your lawn with. I don't think they even had sprinklers either. They had to do it by hand using a hose and everything. And the landlord basically said in their lease that if they didn't take care of the lawn and the lawn died because they weren't watering it, then they would forfeit their like security deposit. And they did the math. And their security deposit was so much less money than it would have cost in water to water the lawn every morning and night the way they would have needed to in order to keep it alive. So they just let it die and then ate the cost of the security deposit. So if anyone out there is a landlord, don't fucking make that a requirement. It's asking for your lawn to die intentionally. It's the dumbest shit. Like, why would I spend that much more money for a lawn that isn't even mine, that's probably gonna die anyway, and then probably still have my security deposit get munched on because landlords, you know? Yvette says we're gonna hit Diana's longest stream record. I think I've had longer streams. I'm pretty sure I have, haven't I? Also, Lino says, also lawns fucking suck. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the concept of like clover lawns and the way that they look, or those really spongy lawns. The ones that are like really soft to step on barefoot. I love that sort of stuff. We also have a lot of deer around here, so anything that can like attract deer so they could come hang out would be the cutest thing ever. Granted, I'm speaking as if I'm ever gonna own a home, and in this town, absolutely the fuck not. These are the monsters for this one. Let's see. I can't quite read what they say, but they're kind of like portal to hell eldritch beings, I believe. Abominations, they're called. They have their own abomination cards. There's one called Numina Cosmos, Numina Creation, the Numina Gate, and the Numina Lore. Oh, so it's not actually lore cards, it's like the different aspects of these monsters. Okay, yeah, you can see them here. Lore, Creation, Cosmos, and Gate. Spooky. Very spooky. Let's see. Vigoro says, are all the bats moving with you? What bats? Oh, no. And Nancy says Hobbit cards where they ripped off the Lord of the Rings art and had to apologize and meant to give the digital art to give credit to the Lord of the Rings artist. Oh yeah, that was fucking crazy. Did you guys hear this? This was MagicCon news. Quicksilver says, anyone go to MagicCon? Any huge news? I'm way behind. Yes, so there was a scandal, essentially. Lord of the Rings MTG art. I think it's still in the news. Yeah, so the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth, is it? They released some new cards. And the One Ring had a new art style, I believe. I don't know if it's still going to be on the website because I think they're replacing it. But essentially, they... Shit, where is it? Stolen art, should I say? Yeah, stolen Lord of the Rings art. So this was an old art piece done by an artist, a femme artist. I believe her name was Marta? Yeah, Marta Nail. This was her art. Then in the newest... During MagicCon, they released a new iteration of this card, which is this one on the right, the One Ring. And it was supposedly drawn by Dan Frazier, who's a really, he'd been doing art for Magic the Gathering for years. He's a like, what do you call it? A seasoned artist. And people were looking at it. The community looked at this card and they were like, wait, this looks exactly like this other card from forever ago by this other artist. And eventually it came out that Dan Frazier had actually taken this art as a reference, he said reference, but he actually straight up painted over it. This is his statement here. Let's see. In trying to create an iconic version of the One Ring, while looking at references online, I ended up using Marta's ring as a reference and painted over it to try and prove the item the fans hold dear in their hearts. I didn't make it my own, and I'm reaching out to Marta privately to apologize artist to artist. I love creating art for Magic. I've loved being a part of this artist community for more than 30 years. I'm sorry to let my fans down. People were a little bit mad at WotC for it, like, basically making it all the way to the card and no one catching it, that it was plagiarized. But they are fixing it. They are going to be, like, first of all, crediting both Marta and Dan as the artists for this new card. They're compensating Marta as well, so they're paying her for the art and all that sort of stuff. Oh my god, Liz says he said he painted over it, but if you zoom into it, you can see the cropped edges and some of the OG background around his ring. What? Like the little fuzziness here? Oh shit, yeah, and like the interior is 100% the same. Like the reflections there. It's just so not good. It's so not good. So that was the biggest news that came out of MagicCon this year. They also talked about Reality Fracture news, which I think is amazing. It's all jagged. Yeah, it's not good. Don't fucking plagiarize shit, dude. Especially not off the back of a femme artist in the space who's... that's just shitty on so many levels. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. You can't really blame WotC as much, because it's... I mean, they should have probably caught it in their review process, but hopefully they'll be having a better review process going forward. You kind of have to live and learn. But yeah, that's the big news that came out. Both WotC and Dan have released statements, so definitely look those up. They've responded. Definitely get the whole picture before drawing any judgment there. But blue sky is where it all is. Nostra says AI could have done a better job at plagiarizing. All right. And Lucas says Pokemon's mobile TCG had the same scandal less than a year ago with its Ho-Oh card. Really? Oh, goodness. Artists are already struggling, dude. They're already having a fucking rough time of it. We don't need this. Good God. Jesus, these are huge. Okay, so these are the miniatures. These are the maxiatures for this set. This is the Cosmic one, I'm assuming. Numina Cosmic? Cosmos? Whatever. This one is... I think this one is Lore. Here we go. And then we also have Numina Gate, which is... yeah. Oh, weird. So it's a creature, but it is actually a gate as well. It kind of... the scale of it makes me think... because you can see stairs leading up to the gate at the top. It makes me think that, like, these are fucking massive compared to what I'm assuming the size of normal humanoids in this game would be. Which would probably be, like, teeny tiny. Nimbus says, now artists have had it too good for too long. Very much joking. Yeah, I get you. Nostra says so many tentacles. Dude, just to see this other one. This is... whoops. Oh, here we go. This is Lore. Again, I don't know how these monsters fit into everything. I don't know how they work. I just think it's cool. Oh. There are also a bunch of cards in this game that I haven't... can I... ooh, here we go. That represent like different abilities. I think I'll know more about these once I actually learn the game, which will probably not be until after I move and I have a table space big enough. By the way, if anyone has any gaming table recommendations that aren't Wormwood, let me know. I am looking. I'm in the market because I currently don't have a gaming table. All I have is my coffee table, and I still like it's too small. I physically can't play Malediction or anything on it because it's so teeny tiny. So also James says someone's stealing artwork of the One Ring. Does that count as irony? Yes, 1000%. Kazooie, hello. Oh yeah, and these are the monster cards. So it is definitely like a cosmic horror type game. You can spawn creatures. Spawn a Devour token on a random world shard after resolving a confrontation card. This is gonna be such a complicated game and I'm so fucking stoked for it. I love complicated games, you guys, so much. I actually, one of the games that is really popular that I personally can't stand, I still own it. And I respect the art style on it, and I respect the fact that it's a game that other people like. I fucking hate it, is, and I don't talk about things that I hate very often, so take this with a grain of salt. I'm not a negative person. This is like, I think the only time I've ever stated I actually hate a game before. I can't fucking stand oh my god, what is it called? What's the one where you fall into a pit and you have a candle and you're trying to like find your way out? The dark something? The... fuck me. I can't remember. Someone out there has to know. Look at tabletoptable.com. Oh, sure. Tabletoptable.com. Great name. Oh, foldable, portable, and extendable. Yeah, see, that would be great if it wasn't for the fact that I'm actually getting... actually, wait, I think I saw someone yeah, I think Kevin did a video about this, right? Where you can like take it picnicking and stuff. It looks really cool. It looks great. I would buy one for portability, possibly, but I also don't. I need like an actual furniture bit of table, if anything. But this is a good call. Maybe I'll ask for one for my birthday or something like that next year. God, what is it? There's definitely a fucking game where you fall into a pit and it has wax eaters as like the main monster. The Night Cage! I don't like the Night Cage. I really, really don't. I hated the way that it like described the mechanics. I hated the fact that you have to like reorganize all of the tiles in order every single time you play it. I don't like the way that they that the mechanics are really exceedingly simple, and like it doesn't really allow for, I don't know, it's just not a complex enough game for me, I suppose. The art style is amazing though, and I did buy the expansion even though I hated the original version because the art style was so cool. But yeah, no, I did not like this game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If the people who made the Night Cage are watching this right now, I respect the vision. I just didn't like it. It's not for me. Maddie says, Facebook Marketplace always has some really old but really good quality dining tables. Dude, Facebook Marketplace, and this is the thing about living in a really affluent town, is Facebook Marketplace and garage sales are competitive as fuck, but also have some really amazing stuff. Like, people are rich as hell in this town, and they have rich as hell furniture that they're giving away every time they move in and out of a new home or whatever, and it is so, like, there's some really good stuff out there. I, however, hate waking up early for garage sales. I mean, I would have to be there at like 6 in the fucking morning in order to get to do it, to be there on time in order to get it. Anything. What is? Hold on. Who made this game? Who is this? Chris Chan. Okay, I saw the word Chan and I'm like, oh my god, it's not Banana Chan, is it? Am I just about to insult one of my friends? Oh no. But Maddie says, or they're like selling their parents' gorge antique shit. Yeah. So this happened once when I was in college. I told you guys how it was a summer RA style type job, right? There's this thing where certain exchange students at OSU would, first of all, incredibly rich, would usually come from like China or Japan or something like that and come stay in the international dorm with other students who were able to like speak their language and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the year, they would move, but they would just leave they would throw away all their furniture because they didn't need to. They were going back home. They were going back overseas, so they couldn't take it with them. And so they would just have like really good quality furniture, really good quality stuff that they were just like throwing away and putting in piles in the lobby. And we got to poke through those piles and take home whatever we wanted. So there was some pretty cute decor. I think I have some mirrors still lying around my apartment from way back then that I bought. Which OSU did you go to? Oregon. The orange and black one. Let me put it that way. They're both orange and black. Oh yeah, Nazir says 2 hour stream unlocked, we get the 2.5 hour. I probably shouldn't. I should actually go to my day job and all that. You know, I should probably actually unbox this sort of stuff and get going and get cleaning and all that. I also need to post today, I haven't done it, but boxes, I know, they're so cool. They're so cool, but I'm running out of space. I need to open these on my floor and there's no way you guys would be able to see. I totally misjudged how easy it would be to pick up and put stuff away. So I should call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this XL stream. Sorry I wasn't here last Monday, and sorry I won't be here tomorrow, except I will, because I will be streaming. I'll give them my stream key, so it should show up for you guys. A Daggerheart 4-shot. A little mini-series run by the one and only Chris Perkins, which may or may not have some interesting lore to it, that may or may not be relevant to future stuff coming out. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll say goodbye to TikTok and Instagram first, and I will then send the rest of you guys who are watching on Twitch over to a friend of mine. But I will see you guys back here again on Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific. Let's see who's on. Who can I raid? Ooh, I could send you guys over to, probably... Oh my god, there's so many people. There's so many people streaming, and they're all have, like, so many viewers. Holy shit. We haven't raided Dak in a while. Why don't we say hello to Dak? Dakota is actually, I was talking about my college experience. I lived with Dakota back in college. Me and Tim and an ex and like a whole bunch of friends of ours were all in one massive home together. We actually had 7 people in one home at a certain time. One of us was living in like a dead ass, like a closet that was converted. So I'll send you guys over to Dakota. He's playing Stardew Valley right now. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. And once again, I will see you back here tomorrow for Daggerheart and on Wednesday for our regularly scheduled streams. Until then, bye-bye.